Welcome to the show. My name is Ryal Thomas. This is the first episode of the Ryal Thomas Show. This show is designed to motivate, inspire, to encourage you to be all you can be while traveling through this journey called life. We're not here to talk about anything negative. We're going to be speaking on everything that's going to be positive. And I have so much I want to talk about, and I'm just going to get right to it. And the first show is titled, Taking a Closer Look at the Inner You. And this show title has been revealed to me due to the fact that I strip and refinish furniture for a living. And I noticed that when I'm stripping furniture, sometimes it can be layers of old varnish, old paint, and I will actually remove some of the layers. Now I'll get down to the beauty of the wood. And it dawned on me that these are layers that have been applied over a period of years. And while removing these layers, I noticed with every layer that's being removed, something is being revealed. The foundation of the beginning is being revealed. And I look at that and I think to myself, how many layers have been put on us as human beings? How many layers have we been exposed to that has developed the character, developed the way we think, developed the way we act, based on everything that's been put on us from birth? Because as a child, you're not born with hate. You're not born with judgment. The innocence of birth in the beginning is when there is pure love that can be exposed, pure love that can be shared, but we don't see that towards the end without the proper nurturing. We don't see that. So I ask myself, are we who we are? Are we creatures of layers? I mean, who are we? Why do we treat each other the way we treat one another? Why? Why do we treat each other this way? Whether it's negative or whether it's positive, are we being guided by things that we have no idea that even exist? Are we just looking at the exterior and not looking at the interior of someone's heart, of maybe where they have come from, maybe what they have gone through, and make a determination on maybe this person just needs a little bit of love? So this has been revealed to me because of my work. And sometimes it takes a long time to get to a point where you can actually understand that we may not be making decisions based on the way we truly feel. We may be making decisions based on how we have been treated. We may be making decisions based on the conditions, what we've been exposed to. And are these decisions that we're making, are they in the best interest of us? Are they in the best interest of the person we're making the decision for? All of these things need to be considered when we're looking at our fellow man. And it dawned on me, and it concerns me when I'm looking at someone and knowing that my conversation, my actions can play a very important part in how far they may or may not go in life. And that's very, very important. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, we're born with certain hereditary things such as our genes. It may be someone may have a certain eye color. It may be someone may have their height, because their mother or their parents were tall or short or whatever the case may be. A lot of these things are genetically passed down. But I believe that there are also other things that are passed down as far as the way we may think, the way we may feel about certain things. There's a will, and these are just my opinions. There's a will that is so strong in the beginning with a child, because we, you, me, we are the conclusion of everything before us. We are the present conclusion of the past. That means your mother, your father, your grandparents, and I'm going back hundreds of years. You do not know what they have been exposed to. And every little thing they have been exposed to, it carries down from generation to generation, and you are the end result at this particular time. So you've been places, and you may feel that, well, I've been here before, or you may smell a certain aroma that you smelled when you were a child, and you may walk somewhere and say, oh my God, I feel like I've been here before. It is to my belief that you have, but maybe not in this body, maybe not in this form, but because you are part of a bigger plan, a bigger source of life that you know nothing about, that these things come to you without you even knowing that they even exist. These things are there, these feelings, these emotions, and it can get scary, because at some point in time, you can look at a child, or you can see someone and you can say to yourself, whoa, he acts just like Uncle John, or he acts just like Miss Murray. Now, Miss Murray may be the great aunt of a great aunt 100 years ago, but now this child is walking like Miss Murray, having certain talents like Miss Murray, even laughing like Miss Murray. But that's because we all are one. We all are someone other than ourselves. We have to be a combination of individuals that have come from the past, that have presently put us where we are today, when it comes to the genes, when it comes to hereditary things of such. It builds us up. I'm going to tell you all the story real quick. I have so much that I want to say, but at the same time, I want to share this with you all. For a long time, I used to have a dream. I used to dream this dream of climbing up these stairs and playing in this big mansion. And I used to have this dream. It looked like it would come every other month, or I know every 3 or 4 months this dream would come to me, and I would wonder why it would come, and I would see this carriage, and I would see this person. So, and I saw this little boy running around. I'm like, why am I constantly dreaming about this? What actually happened was, I happened to be talking with my father one day, and I asked him about his life as a child. Excuse me. And he told me that he used to play in this big house, and he used to light this stove, or this oil stove, and watch the fire run up the yard. And he was just telling me all type of stuff about antiques and stuff, and he was actually revealing to me my dream. He was revealing to me what he was going through as a child. And I started to question myself and ask myself, why am I dreaming about his childhood? And the reason is because I believe that He's a part of me, that his childhood somehow connected with me. So what I'm here to say is that we all are connected to our parents, and individuals even before our parents, and we don't know where that road stops, but we know at this present time it stops here. It stops right now with us. And it all depends on what we do and what we give the next generation. I also want to talk about hate for a moment. And I want to talk a little bit about the cure for hate. And I want to talk about parents that may be exposing their children. You may have some friends or some individuals you know that may be on the side of racism. And we want to talk a little bit about that, at least I do. When you have someone pushing that, and I will say I'm not pro-black, I'm not pro-white, I'm pro-people. You know, I'm just pro-people. I mean, if you are a good person, you're a good person. There's bad and good in both races. You cannot use, your color, whether you're black or white, to determine how far you will go in life. Making an excuse saying you have a chip on your shoulder and you cannot do this because you're this color and you cannot do this because you're that color. It all depends on how bad you want something in life. And if you want it bad enough, you will go after it. The people who normally complain are not individuals who are seeking what they need to seek in order to better themselves. So I want to stay with that for just one moment. But when we look at things, and if you happen to be preaching hate, I'm not necessarily talking to you all at this particular time, I'm talking to the viewers out there. You're actually ostracizing yourself because it's not, you won't necessarily be doing yourself a favor by saying that I'm showing hate because of this particular person based on their skin color. Because when you do that, you're putting yourself in a position where that this child will grow up with a certain feeling of hate. And this child may not stay in the community in which this child is growing up in. This child may move on in life. This child may move on and be exposed to, different demographics, different city, different time, different place. And you've planted all these negative seeds in this child. And what happens when the child finds out that you've made a mistake? What happens when the child finds that out, that you've made a mistake by pushing hate on them? The parent or the friend may actually ostracize themselves, put them in a certain category where they realize that my parents have lied to me all this time. Now here I am involved with someone of a different race or whatever the case may be, and I don't know how to go to my parents and talk to them about that. So when you do that, you have to be extremely careful about what you are doing, what you are creating for that individual. When you get them to look at someone based on their race in a negative way, you're not doing them any justice. You take the situation we've had here in Charlottesville. That individual who committed the act in which he did, he'll never have a child. His parents will never have grandkids to love. He will never have a future other than what he has today. And what type of life is that to lead? All because of what he was told, what he felt, what he believed. He completely ruined his life, not to even mention what he did to the other individual, but he just lost everything because of a feeling. And these are things that we have to get in control. We have to get our feelings in control because it's not normal from the beginning to be born with such innocence, such love, the little chubby cheeks, the smiles and everything, and all of a sudden this child grows up to be a monster. This child grows up to be a monster. So how do we stop that? We show the person love. We expose them to different things, and we let them see what love can be. If you don't feel love, you don't know how to show love. It's so many things that, that we can do as a society, we can do as a community to make this city a better place, to make the world a better place. And it's just so many things. I walk through the day, every day, and I'm working every day, and I look around and I enjoy, being around individuals who express love. There's nothing that you cannot work out. I don't understand the conflicts that we have with one another, and especially as you get older, you start to feel life more. When you're young, you're too fast, you're too busy, you're ripping and running. The sun is up and you're up. But as you get older, things become more realistic for you as far as wanting to live your life. If you notice, and this crowd is mixed right now, but I know when you're older, you don't mind speaking your mind. You just say what you feel. When you're young, it's just you're a little careful. And it's something about age and wisdom. And you take, for example, a grandmother's love, and you'll be finding that out pretty soon. A grandmother's love is a special love. The trials and tribulations that she has gone through, it's like a grandmother has love in her touch. They can look at a child and they can determine something is wrong with that child just by the way they act, the way they look. And it's something that draws that child to that grandmother. And it's because that child is innocent and that child can detect love, and through trials and tribulations and through trial and error, that grandmother has learned. She's learned what not to do, what to say at the right time. It's even the touch from an elderly person can be comforting because it's just a warm touch, and that's important. And as we all get older, we take time to look at a butterfly, and you may be at a point in your life where you just see a butterfly, but as you become more sensitive and more aware that this is a beautiful butterfly, look at the designs on this butterfly wing. When you're young, you're not thinking about that. You may catch the butterfly and pin the butterfly on the board. You're not thinking about the beauty of this butterfly. You're just looking at it, and that's how we sometimes harm one another. We just look at that individual. We look at that individual, and that's it. That's it. Not understanding where they have gone, what they are doing, what they have gone through. We never even think about that, but we have to think about things like that when we're making decisions on someone's life, and especially on our own life. Backgrounds are a big factor in the words that people may choose to use, and as far as solutions. Because if you've only seen this side of the world and you haven't seen this side of the world, you're going to defend the side that you have seen. It doesn't mean that that's a bad or a good side. It means that that's what you know, and that's what you've been exposed to. And if you don't get out there and get exposure to different people in different communities, you cannot bring about unity because you're only looking at it from one side. And looking at it from one side never brings forth unity. And some of the individuals that may be advocating for certain things, and you must remember some people have chips on their shoulder. They have chips on their shoulder, and they're going to stay. They're going to say what they want to say, and as long as someone is applauding them and making them feel like they've said something special, there's going to be a conflict. So you need to deal with that as well, and you need to recognize that that exists before you can even start to even bring about a solution. You need to get some bulls in there. You need to get some bulls in there and stop listening to all the calves running around. You just need some strong bulls, making some sense, making some sense of the things. And sometimes it may appear to be harsh. Sometimes it may appear to be harsh when you're trying to bring about change. Change is always difficult. You're tearing up the streets in Charlottesville right now. People are complaining about, well, look at the detours. I have to do this, I have to do that. But once it's all done, they enjoy what has been created for them. I can get around town a little bit better. I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. The same thing with this. You have to get through that. So there are going to be complications in trying to bring about change. There are going to be complications in trying to get to the next level. And without those complications, you cannot get there anyway because you don't know what not to do and what to do. So you have to have failure in order to succeed. So these things shouldn't be a deterrent. They shouldn't be a deterrent for you. There should be, okay, well, I know I'm moving ahead. When I'm getting talked about, when someone is talking about me, when somebody is saying this, that means I'm moving. I'm doing some things. So you can't let that get you down and think to yourself that you are not progressing, because you are. Anytime somebody's talking about you, you're doing something. You're doing something. So that's a very good point. That's a very good point that I would like to stress.
What advice would you give people to kind of overcome, the politics at the national level, so ugly, and even the politics at the local level can get ugly? What is some advice that you can give to us to stay kind of focused and not get distracted by that?
You have to be real and speak from the heart. Words from the heart needs no outside instructions. Words from the heart needs no outside instructions. And a lot of people find that very difficult to do because they are in a parade. They're trying to get approval. And when a person is trying to get approval, they'll say anything. And once people realize that they are saying anything, because sometimes evil leads evil. Evil leads evil. And that's not a good thing when that happens. To I would say, just constantly be yourself, be truthful, and good always takes over bad. Always. It's good always comes out on top. It takes a little longer for it to happen, but it always comes out on top. Now you can get there faster by being mean, ugly, and deceitful. You can get there faster. You can get there faster to where you're materialistically trying to go. But in your heart, people will eventually see your heart. They will eventually see the good in you. But those are the good folks. Even bad people can convert to being good once they realize how bad they are. When they realize how bad they are and they hear someone being good, it's like, and I will say this, we have an individual right now who's holding a position right now in office. And if this individual were to turn around and just say, I'm sorry, I've made some mistakes, I want to just clean the slate right now, and I want to start this thing over, and I want to have equality for all, I want to show love to all, and we're going to stop all this hate. If this individual were to do that, no one could touch him. the economy is doing extremely well. The economy is doing extremely well, regardless of what you think about him as an individual. But if he were to speak those words, he could change basically the world. If he were to speak those words, he would change the world because he has so many people. But see, this individual is in a position because he used hate and he used other methods to get him where he wants to be. But if he were to switch it right now and talk about love and talk about unity, he would be untouchable. So, yeah, so that's what I think about when it comes to politics and people that are in position running for certain offices, that, just be real. And if your opponent or whatever is saying all type of stuff and doing all type of stuff, let them say, let them do. Just stay focused, because it may not be your time right now, but if your record shows that you was honest at that particular time, it may be something better down the road, because people will see your honesty. So this person they don't give into this or give into that. As long as they see your honesty, it's something down the road for you anyway. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I want to thank you all for coming to the first show of the Ryal Thomas Show, and I really enjoyed you all, and hopefully next time we'll have a deeper and better conversation. Thank you very much.